G'day mates, it's the Doctor here, and at long last it is time to continue my Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profiles, and as you can see I've got several of them, and I've been promising this for so long, but it's time to go over the new, updated, Legendary Ocean deck. And the reason I've been holding this off for so long is partly because, well, just been trying to figure out a way to give you guys videos in HD, and as you can see, if we test the camera out right now, that should look a lot more clear, shouldn't it? Nice, crisp and clean HD. But, let's get to the deck profile, because I know I've been promising this as far back as, Battles of Legend Armageddon, so, yeah, that's quite a while away. So, let's go over this new version of the deck. So, here is Citadel Whale, the new boss monster, and to summon this card, you must tribute 2 water monsters from your hand, no, from the field, of course, but then you can special summon this card from the hand or graveyard. So I'm running 2, and you can run 3 if you want, but there is a way of searching this card, and Foolish Burial pretty much is pretty much a third copy of this card because, well, it can be summoned from the graveyard, so not much to worry about there. Then we have Fincess, and one thing to note about water support is there's a lot of generic support, like this card, it can banish itself from the field, and you get to replace it with another fish from the deck. So that's pretty cool. And here's Buzzsaw Shark. So with this card, you can target a water monster you control, including itself, and then special summon from the deck another fish of the same level but different name. And what I want to know with this card and Lantern Shark, because both these cards negate the effects of a monster, but does it also negate this part where it says you can, if this card is used for Exceed Summon of a water monster, you can treat it as level 3 or 5. So can you special summon rank 3 or rank 5 monsters, even if the effects are negated? That's something I'm not sure of. And Lantern Shark, I'm only playing one copy of it because, well, aside from being a target for Buzzsaw Shark, it special summons from the hand, which isn't particularly useful, especially how there's a lot of water monsters that can special summon themselves from the hand already, so yeah, really it's just in the deck for Buzzsaw Shark. But let's continue. And oh yeah, when I said there's a lot of generic water support, that means you can combine this deck with Mermails, Atlanteans, and maybe even the Deep Sea Diva cards that came out in Eternity Code. Which, if you don't remember, Eternity Code is a set with Access Code Talker. But here's Shark Stickers, so one of the water monsters that can just special summon itself from the hand, which makes Lantern Shark even more irrelevant, but using 3 copies, so you can go for an easy rank 3 monster like Nightmare Shark. Then we have Warrior of Atlantis, and this is like a terraforming from the deck. How you can discard this card, search for Legendary Ocean. Then Silent Angler, so another water monster to special summon itself from the hand. And this time you can go for easy rank 4 monsters. Or, because of Legendary Ocean, which you do have to keep in mind, since the field spell reduces all water monsters in this deck by 1 level, then that might be a counterintuitive for your Xyz summons. But, yeah. Anyway, here's Aqua Spirit, or who knows, maybe if you figure out a way to use this card for rank 3 monsters. But anyway, here's Aqua Spirit, so this is another water monster that can special summon itself from the hand, but you gotta have a water monster in your graveyard to do that. And I do think Aqua Spirit is the best of the water spirit, attribute spirits, because you can target a monster your opponent controls, switch its battle position, and it cannot change battle position for the rest of a turn. And I think this card was finally reprinted in Freezing Change, which is the Ice Barrier deck, and that's why I didn't include it in my top 10 Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards that need to be reprinted that I uploaded like a month ago. And oh, speaking of which, I don't think Silent Angler was included in that set, but it was for the OCG version. Okay, here we have Double Fin Shark, so this is like Buzzsaw Shark, except it targets in the graveyard, so again, that's another way of splashing, I guess is the term, where you just summon monster after monster after monster. And, of course, with having less than 1,500 attack points, which makes it a target for salvage, adding water monsters back to your hand from the graveyard. Now we have Legendary Fisherman 2, and thanks to the field spell, this will most likely be a level 4 monster, so you can just normal summon it easily. But unaffected by monster effects, and if this card is destroyed by battle or leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, you get to add a level 7 water monster from the deck to your hand, such as Citadel Whale. Or you can go for the legendary Fisherman 3. And I tested this deck on Greiken's Paleozoic deck, and this card pretty much destroyed him. Because it is unaffected by spell and trap effects. That's pretty good. I don't know if this is a particularly good boss monster, because only 2500 attack, but yeah, it can't be destroyed by battle or card effects, so yeah, it can be an okay card, but you definitely want to go for a Citadel Whale more often. And to summon this card, you're going to tribute Legendary Fisherman 2, and there is an Xyz monster that can help you with that, and of course having Monster Reborn, so we'll get to that later, but here's the field spell, obviously, Legendary Ocean, then Monster Reborn, Foolish Burial, 2 copies of Salvage, Fury of Kaioshin. This card, I believe, came out in the set after Eternity Code, and you can search for Terrenal Tribute. Also, this card can protect your water monsters from being destroyed by card effects, such as Terrenal Tribute, or Darkhole, or Raigeki. So, I think this is a really good spell card, and I'm only using 2 copies of Terrenal Tribute because, well, you have a way of searching it. Then you have Xyz Revive Splash. So this is not exactly Xyz Reborn, how you can attach it as a material to your Xyz monster from the graveyard. That's a mistake. That's a mistake I kept making with this card. That's not the case, however. But you can banish this card from the graveyard and target a water Xyz you control and rank it up. And we'll get to a strategy with that later on. But here's White Howling, so if you control a water monster, banish the spell from your opponent's graveyard, negate all their spell effects for the rest of the turn. That's really useful, especially against something like Fossils, but it's not like Fossils are meta, unfortunately. But I'm pretty sure this card can be devastating for certain decks out there, but here we have Sea Stealth Attack, so this is the trap card that you can search off Citadel Whale. But you do need to have Legendary Ocean on the field to activate either of these effects. And I think that's a bit steep, because at the start of a damage step, if your water monster, whose original level is 5 or higher, battles an opponent's monster, destroy that monster instantly. I think that's good enough. But it's still a really good card, and Citadel Whale can negate any effects that target a card you control, so not just itself. And, well, of course you can search it, so that's the main deck, and let me know what you think of this version of Legendary Ocean. Because I do wish Legendary Ocean itself was a viable deck, but let's get to the extra deck right now and go over some of the strategies. So here we have Mistar Boy, so gives all your water monsters 500 attack and defense. Leviair is pretty much in here to bring back Finses. Then we have Totally Awesome, and I didn't realize it at first, but Totally Awesome can actually bring back a water monster from your graveyard, and there's quite a few extra deck water monsters that can do that, surprisingly. Then we have Bahamut Shark, which can easily summon Totally Awesome from the extra deck as well. And what's funny is that this card was pretty much useless during the Link era, because if you guys remember, in the Link era, the only way to summon monsters from the extra deck was with the extra monster zone, which it isn't part of this playmat because this playmat's from the 5Ds era. But thanks to the new master rule, for the new era we're in, it's back to being useful again. Then we have Abyss Dweller to negate your opponent's effects from the graveyard. Full Armor Black Ray Lancer, so you can Xyz summon this card using a rank 3 water monster you control with no materials attached to it, so that makes it another target in a way for Bahamut Shark. Valiant Shark Lancer, this card can be summoned with Xyz Revive Splash, but yeah, it also has a quick effect of popping your opponent's monsters. So that could be okay, and then Abyss Gaios, if you manage to bring out multiple copies of Citadel Whale, or, you know, if you want to go for a Mermail version of this deck. Then we have Acid Golem, so if you have Creature Swap, then summon this card out with Bahamut Shark, and you just give this card to your opponent, and they might have a tough time. Now we have number 37, Hope Woven Dragon Spider Shark, and I do like the secret rare foiling. In fact, we're going to get this out of the sleeve so I can show you guys for the camera. Here it is. Doesn't that look great? All the droplets and stuff. Alright. But yes, when this card is destroyed, you can special summon a monster from your graveyard, such as the Legendary Fisherman 2, so when that card's destroyed, you search for Legendary Fisherman 3, and then you'll have Legendary Fisherman 2 on the field to summon your Legendary Fisherman 3 on the next turn. Then we have Nightmare Shark, so this is an easy rank 3 monster, or you can summon this card with Bahamut Shark, and luckily, this card has a very convenient effect where if it's special summoned, you can attach a level 3 water monster from your hand or your side of the field to this card as Xyz material. So even if you summon this card with Bahamut Shark, this card will have an Xyz material and then it can attack your opponent directly, because that's what its effect does. Then we have Rebarian Shark. So this card can revive number monsters from your graveyard and give materials from this card to them. And finally, we have Silent Honor Arc and Silent Honor Dark. So this card is easy to summon thanks to Xyz Revive Splash. And of course, it's a stealer, just stealing your opponent's monsters to use them as Xyz materials. And, you know, if it's destroyed, you can bring it back from the graveyard and you gain life points. So, ooh, this card is really easy to summon. And what's funny is how this card was reprinted in the Maximum Gold set. So it's almost like Konami knew what they were doing. I am glad they did that. But I do have a little bonus for you guys. So here's some other water support that you can use for a Legendary Ocean deck. So here we have Rage of the Deep Sea. This is like Chaos Necromancer for the deck. And it gains 500 attack for each fish, sea serpent, and aqua monster in your graveyard. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So even just 5 alone, this card will have 2500 attack. And you don't have to worry how it's a level 5 monster, because if you have Legendary Ocean, then you can just normal summon this card easily. Then we have Rage of Kaioshin. So if Yuumi or Legendary Ocean is on the field, because Legendary Ocean treats itself as Yuumi, target monsters your opponent controls up to the number of water monsters whose original level is 5 or higher and destroy them. And those zones cannot be used. So if you find a way to summon multiple Citadel Whales or any other level 5 or higher water monsters, then you can just pop them easily, kind of like a Raigeki in a way, but as a quick play spell, so that can be useful. Heck, even just popping one might be useful. And then we have Whitefish Salvage. So this is an odd card. It's like Salvage, but you can only target water monsters. No, I mean only fish monsters and add them to your hand. But it's a continuous spell, so I do think Salvage is better, just because most of them already have less than 1500 attack. Now we have Xyz Import. This is one of the newer cards, and again, this is like a stealer, just stealing your opponent's monsters as long as they have less attack than the Xyz monsters you control. Sacred Sword of a 7-star, so banish a level 7 monster from the hand or face up from the field and draw 2 cards. So, again, Citadel Whale, Legendary Fisherman, or even the Mermail monsters can be used as cost for this card, because a bunch of them are level 7. Then we have Fish Depth Charge, so tribute a fish, pop a card and draw a card. I don't know why there's a second Whitefish Salvage. And then we have Oyster Meester. So if this card is sent from field to the graveyard by battle, card effect, link summon, or tributes of something like Citadel Whale, then you get a token. And, you know, you can use that token for, I don't know, another Citadel Whale Fish Depth Charge. I do think this card is kind of underrated, as it is a token producer, and, you know, even though Crystron Needlefiber has taken a few hits, I'm pretty sure token producers are still viable today, so maybe one day this card can be really useful. But, that's finally my Legendary Ocean deck profile, everyone, and if you enjoyed it, then stay tuned for the rest of the deck profiles that I've planned, like Cybers, Drytrons, Blizzard Burn, and Fossils. Yes, I'm going to be doing a deck profile on Fossils, which should be interesting. And until next time, take care, mates.